of the room. The woman rushed out of her nightgown and put on a pair of step-ins. She turned to the bed from which she had risen and called, "Vera, get up from there." "What time is it, Ma?" asked a muffled adolescent voice from beneath a quilt. "Get up from there, I say." "Okay, Ma." A brown-skinned girl in a cotton gown got up and stretched her arms above her head and yawned. Sleepily, she sat on a chair and fumbled with her stockings. The two boys kept their faces averted while their mother and sister put on enough clothes to keep them from feeling ashamed, and the mother and sister did the same while the boys dressed. Abruptly, they all paused, holding their clothes in their hands, their attention caught by a light tapping in the thinly plastered walls of the room. They forgot their conspiracy against shame, and their eyes strayed apprehensively over the floor. "There he is again, Bigger!" the woman screamed, and the tiny one-room apartment galvanized into violent action. A chair toppled as the woman, half-dressed and in her stocking feet, scrambled breathlessly upon the bed. Her two sons, barefoot, stood tense and motionless, their eyes searching anxiously under the bed and chairs. The girl ran into a corner, half-stooped, and gathered the hem of her slip into both of her hands and held it tightly over her knees. "Oh, oh," she wailed. "There he goes." The woman pointed a shaking finger. Her eyes were round with fascinated horror. "Where? I don't see him." "Bigger, he's behind the trunk," the girl whimpered. "Vera," the woman screamed, "get up here on the bed. Don't let that thing bite you." Frantically, Vera climbed upon the bed and the woman caught hold of her. With their arms entwined about each other, the black mother and the brown daughter gazed open-mouthed at the trunk in the corner. Bigger looked round the room wildly, then darted to a curtain and swept it aside, and grabbed two heavy iron skillets from a wall above a gas stove. He whirled and called softly to his brother, his eyes glued to the trunk. "Buddy." "Yeah?" "Here, take this skillet." "Okay." "Now, get over by the door." "Okay." Buddy crouched by the door and held the iron skillet by its handle, his arm flexed and poised. Save for the quick, deep breathing of the four people, the room was quiet. Bigger crept on tiptoe toward the trunk with the skillet clutched stiffly in his hand, his eyes dancing and watching every inch of the wooden floor in front of him. He paused, and without moving an eye or muscle, called, "Buddy." "Huh?" "Put that box in front of the hole so he can't get out." "Okay." Buddy ran to a wooden box and shoved it quickly in front of a gaping hole in the molding, and then backed again to the door, holding the skillet ready. Bigger eased to the trunk and peered behind it cautiously. He saw nothing. Carefully, he stuck out his bare foot and pushed the trunk a few inches. "There he is!" the mother screamed again. A huge black rat squealed and leaped at Bigger's trouser leg and snagged it in his teeth, hanging on. "God damn!" Bigger whispered fiercely, whirling and kicking out his leg with all the strength of his body. The force of his movement shook the rat loose, and it sailed through the air and struck a wall. Instantly it rolled over and leaped again. Bigger dodged, and the rat landed against a table leg. With clenched teeth, Bigger held the skillet. He was afraid to hurl it, fearing that he might miss. The rat squeaked and turned and ran in a narrow circle, looking for a place to hide. It leaped again past Bigger and scurried on dry, rasping feet to one side of the box and then to the other, searching for the hole. Then it turned and reared upon its hind legs. "Hit him, Bigger!" Buddy shouted. "Kill him!" the woman screamed. The rat's belly pulsed with fear. Bigger advanced a step, and the rat emitted a long, thin song of defiance, its black, beady eyes glittering, its tiny forefeet pawing the air restlessly. Bigger swung the skillet. It skidded over the floor, missing the rat, and clattered to a stop against a wall. "God damn!" the rat.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.